New look and melt-in-your-mouth additions to their menu. Enjoy the freshest sushi in Santa Clarita for lunch or dinner. With a full bar, Japanese favorites, and all-you-can-eat sushi, you'll rediscover Bonsai Garden as a favorite place to dine. From tempura to the freshest from the sea, it's the newly remodeled Bonsai Garden on Soledad near White's Canyon.
College of the Canyons is having a faculty and administrator job fair. Visit COC on Saturday, September 17th from 9 till noon at the Dr. Diane G. Van Hook University Center. Needs include full-time faculty for accounting, business law, film, culinary arts, early childhood education, paralegal, political science, English, sociology, and more. Don't miss the COC Faculty Job Fair. Visit canyons.edu/human resources for more info.
Attention all ITT Tech students and parents of students that were attending ITT Tech. Valencia Technical Institute is a local trade school offering a one-year electronic certificate program on a sliding scale at 1/10 the cost of ITT Tech. This one-year program will teach you the important skills you need to fill the role of electrical engineering technician. Every ITT Tech student that enrolls for the fall program will get a $1,000 discount. That's $1,000 off of the one-year program for every ITT Tech student that registers for the course before the end of October. Valencia Technical Institute is partners with the International Society for Electronic Technicians. They've been training technicians in the electronics industry since 1965. Don't miss out on this one-time opportunity to complete your technical training. Visit their website at scvtech.org. That's scvtech.org.
Hi, Amanda Fox here with Valencia Nissan. Today I'm here with some great offers on financing and purchases for first-time buyers, current students, and college grads. If you need an affordable car, we currently have a 2016 Sentra S Automatic for $13,988 net after rebates. If that's too much, we have a 2016 Versa S for only $99.88 net after rebates. There's no credit needed and only 10 months on the job. Come visit us today in the Valencia Auto Mall or visit our website at valencianissan.com for instant approval.
Hi, George here with your hometown forecast. We're warming back up with daytime highs topping out at 81 degrees under mostly sunny skies today here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Temps will continue to rise, reaching the mid-90s by the weekend. Tonight's lows will drop to 56 degrees. Join KHTS on September 19th as we take our annual trip to Washington, D.C., along with several SCV leaders to advocate for critical issues that affect our valley. Learn more by going to hometownstation.com.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Santa Clarita In-Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio,
on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our guests this morning are Arif Halaby of Total Financial Solutions.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Arif.
Good morning.
And later in the hour, we will be speaking with Kim Wall, who is an alternative medicine advocate. What's going on, Arif?
Well, you know, we are finding today that a lot more seniors are returning back to work, either to stay, relevant in their skill set or because they just want to stay busy. In fact, I visited with my dad this morning. He's in his 80s and he's retired and for many years now, and yet still, my sister's a lawyer and a judge, and he delivers subpoenas and goes and files court papers and gets to stay busy 3, 4, or 5 times a week doing things. And I can't tell you how exciting that is for us as a family to see that even though we're busy, we still have our lives, we all still have to work. He can still go out and be relevant instead of waking up and just being bored.
Purpose.
Yeah, he said his biggest mistake that he ever made when he retired was that he retired.
And he retired.
Isn't that amazing?
Now, some of our seniors are going back to work because they have to go back to work.
That's right.
Because the nest egg has shrunk, and they're feeling the pressure of having to maintain their life and lifestyle, so they've gone back to work. And so for some, it's a reality check.
It's
because
a very
they don't
big
know
deal.
the technology, and for others, it's a godsend for them.
It's such a big deal when you transition out of a career, and so for a lot of our seniors that have recently left or are going to be leaving soon, I've got kind of a list of things I want you to focus on as you're making that transition. Not that you still can't golf 3 days a week or hit the high seas if you're so inclined to cruise, but one of the most important things is to maintain skills and the relationships in the field in which you were part of. Folks forget, you might leave a job and then go back 3 or 4 or 5 months later, and there's different people, there's different procedures. Things have happened very quickly in any industry these days with technology. So how do you stay involved? You have to subscribe to the current publications. You have to go out, see what's happening, what the trends are. I'll give you an example. We had a client who was a graphic artist, and he was laid off a little early than he wanted to when it came to retirement in his late 50s. He said, you know what, I'm just going to retire. So things were great until they weren't. Medical expenses. He said, I'm going to go back to work. He went back to work, and nobody would hire him. Why? Because it's now all computer-based. It's not the way it used to be, you know?
That's exactly right.
So staying focused on the software and the technology is key. And part of that is to attend these conferences. You're going to see conferences in Vegas, Anaheim, Orlando. These types of conferences, meetings, seminars will keep you relevant, updated. You'll understand terminology, what's going on. Even if you have been retired for a while and you think you might go back to work in that field, or you just want to volunteer or work part-time, go online. Find out where these seminars are taking place. There's always something going on in the LA or certainly Las Vegas is the conference or convention capital of the world. And those conventions will put you in front of people, keep you relevant. You can attend seminars and find out what's going on.
Or you can do some of that online.
You certainly can. Relationships, though, are what obviously is difficult to make online. And people will hire people they're comfortable with. You know, as a business owner and somebody who's hired people for over 20 years, I have never understood why you would hire based on age. That didn't, because I always found a senior or somebody with more experience always more relevant in the field, more mature. I didn't have to babysit them, worry about what you did over the weekend. Are you going to show up late? Do you have boyfriend or girlfriend problems? You know, those things are more relevant the younger you are. And so I never understood why somebody wouldn't just hire based on, the quality. So that I never crossed my mind. But others will say, listen, there's age discrimination. So I know it's real. They say that it is. But in my life, I've not seen that.
That's interesting, because during my work, and of course I've been retired now 20 years, but when I was working, I worked at home. I was an independent typist, and I did a lot of work for a claims adjusting firm. And when I first started, I was on the traditional Royal typewriter.
Oh yeah, sure.
Then I went to an IBM Selectric, which was so much easier, but I still had to type it up on the forms and submit it. Then I went to a different format, which was a typewriter that was electric, but it printed out as I went along.
Oh, wow.
All the sheets.
Wow.
And then the company went completely computerized, and oh my goodness.
Was that not
I had to buy a computer.
Wow.
And I had to add a printer, and I had to learn how to do all this work, print it out, and then deliver it. Then they said, no, send it to us via email.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I did a lot of my high school papers on a typewriter, and even probably some college papers on a typewriter before the world changed and we were able to do things on a WordPress
cut and paste.
Yeah. And for me it was exciting to have that change because I wasn't cemented in it for so many years, but I could see how, because I'm one of those guys with ideas and that might move around, and I would take a paragraph and say that belongs better up here, and so you could move things around without printing out 75 copies of making a mistake. So that technology will change. But part of this challenge is considering a part-time opportunity. Look, if you can, I never want you to fully retire, because sitting around in a rocking chair waiting to die is no fun for anybody. No fun for the people that are around you. No fun for the people that call you friend or family or lover. It's just not a good thing. to stay important where somebody is expecting you. You know, literally an hour ago, I was with my dad and sat there, and he says, "Oh," I said, "Hey, how about lunch a little later?" He says, "No, I have to go to downtown LA. I have to go to the courthouse." And you know, he's on the phone getting directions, and you know, I felt like I was so much interrupting his day. I'm like, sorry to be a problem here. But you know, he has to make plans, and okay, I have to make sure there's enough gas in the car, and then my mom still works, and he makes dinner for my mom every night. So he says, "I've got dinner cooking for your mom, so that's going to be done. So I don't have to worry about if I show up late, there's still going to be dinner." You know, those are exciting things, folks, when you have people that count on you. And if you're the blob that sits on the couch and can read back every single line of your favorite TV show, that's a problem.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, whenever I call Barb up, she's busy. She's just like that right now, even. You know, she's just a busy running around doing I got to do this, I got to do that. I mean, she's on the run all the time.
You know, Dr. Jean, tell me about the mobility of somebody and the mental, the mental stamina that comes when you're up off the chair and working. I mean, there's got to be some physical things that happen.
I mean, just think about it. When you are up and moving around, the circulation has increased, and it's increased, improving your heart, but also bringing blood to the brain. So, and then when you have to manipulate ideas as you interact, I mean, it just allows the mind to be exercised.
Yes.
And it continues to do that. So, no, Barb, you know, I look at you and I go, I can't get a hold of you sometimes, but I'm good with that because I know you're busy. And that's the way, you can't be a blob, and you're not a blob. I don't see you ever as being one. But you've learned in life to adapt move forward and use the things that are put in front of you, sometimes because you have to work, but sometimes because you know it's something that you're going to need to know. You've taken everything now that you've learned in the past and applied it to what you're doing in right now and in the future.
And here's a very important part, guys. I want you to stay relevant, but you forget your value because in your life things have happened very slowly, day by day. But imagine for a minute you have children or grandchildren or friends, children or grandchildren, and you see them every 6 months or a year. You're like, oh my goodness, you've grown, or oh my goodness, you've cut your hair, you look so different. And suddenly people change, but in their life, the parents, they see it very slowly, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing with you in business or as a job. You have a value to mentor young people, to guide them along the way. Your value might be something that you would look at and go, well, it's gradual, it's not a big deal. But you have gone through big challenges, and you can tweak them a little bit with the technology and some of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still valuable experience. We employ, if I took the average age of our companies, I would say it's probably in the mid to late 50s. It's significantly higher than what maybe a company would look at, because I want people that I don't have to tell, you have to show up on time. Oh, by the way, you have to be honest. Oh, by the way, you have to work. Oh, by the way, you have to dress appropriately. We had, I'll digress for just a second. We had employees that had worked for us, and we're a conservative firm. We wear shirts and ties. It's what we do. And, we had young ladies coming in like they were going out to the nightclub with, oh my gosh, with the skirts way above where they should have been.
Oh my goodness.
And lower tops than they should have been. And we thought, like, where in their training, their mind, their experience, their mentorship, did somebody say that's okay? Mm-hmm. And those are things that you learn when you're around folks that have been there, done that. And
that's very true.
Seniors, I don't want you to forget that. You have value that goes beyond, a piece of paper.
Yeah, and that expertise that you bring in, the experience you bring in, you teach it to others. It's the circle of life.
Yes.
And we have to allow people our seniors to understand that they're still contributing in some way. And I think they tend to forget that value.
I believe they do, because it's easy to feel like you're not a part of the conversation. It's easy to hear a few big terms, especially in your industry where you were somebody, quote, important, and suddenly some words are coming around and you feel a little bit inadequate. That's why I'm saying stay online, subscribe to these publications. You can get them in emails for free, probably. You can do research in your field and your expertise. Look at what's happening cutting edge, attend a seminar, go out and meet people, I like the online concept, but I think both of you and I, Dr. Jean, are saying, get out and talk to folks. Get off your fanny, you know?
Well, there's nothing more rewarding than volunteering. If you're going to retire, think ahead of what you might want to do when you retire and leave the workforce that is traditionally 8 to 5 for most people.
Yeah.
Think about, you're busy all during that 8 to 5, and then you retire. What are you going to do between that 8 and 5 every day,
That's right.
5 days a week?
Your friends and family are working.
That's exactly
They love you,
right.
but they're busy.
But there are so many organizations out here in the
Yes.
Santa Clarita Valley and even beyond. But if you live here, volunteer here. And so many of them need so much assistance.
Look, you may have bookkeeping skills or typing skills. Every
Absolutely.
organization needs somebody to do that. You may have organization skills. You may have marketing or design skills. You may have just an extra hand to stuff envelopes. It is valuable, and I cannot tell you how important those skill sets are. And with all of that put together, look, I can be a bit controversial, surprise, on our normal radio show, but I don't believe the adage, do what you love and the money will follow. I believe that's a bunch of hogwash. Because if I did what I loved, I would go to jail, because I love my wife, and I would love, playing games. It's just not going to happen. We just can't. But do what you're good at. The money will follow. Be good with your money, and you can do what you love.
That's true. And invest.
That's right.
Invest wisely, because you are going to run out of money at some point, and Social Security doesn't cut it.
That's right. You can be the greatest. You can love to play the guitar or a piano. Unfortunately, in this world, there's not a whole lot of people that are going to pay a lot of money for that. There's a lot of people really, really good. And then you have to be lucky and fortunate in the right place and relationships. You might be an amazing artist. You might be but who's going to pay for that? You still have to pay your electric bill.
That's right.
Right? So those are the reasons.
Sometimes, though, Arif, there are some of our seniors who work for 30, 40 years, and they didn't like their work.
I know.
And so they don't want to really go back into it. But an important point that should be made is that you can retool yourself to a certain degree. And we have College of the Canyons here.
That's right.
You can re-educate, get on the computer, go to the computer class at the senior center. There's so many things that one can do that they forget and say, no, I don't want to go back to work, because they're thinking about what they used to do. Well, maybe they can retool themselves into something totally different and enjoy that. And maybe even take some of the things that they have enjoyed or knew they enjoyed but weren't getting paid for.
That's right.
And seeing again that they can find something that's out there that they will now get paid for, maybe not a lot, but get paid for, and enjoy it at the same time. And feel worthy.
You're right, because once your money, once your income comes from your assets, from your money, from that type of a lifestyle, then you no longer have to worry about working for money. You can work for your passion, work for what you enjoy. The sooner you can do that, the better and happier of a life. If you happen to be somebody that is good at what you do, love what you do, and get paid for it, I think that's a blessing that is difficult to measure.
Absolutely, it is. It really is.
And part of this is, remember, guys, before we leave, if you're going to make extra money, you're going to work part-time or consult or whatever it might be, it may affect your tax bracket. So check with your accountant, your CPA, sit down and say, hey guys, I'm going to make an extra $10 or $15 or $20,000 this year. What does that do to my income? What does that do to my retirement scenario? How do I manage that? So those are things that matter, right, as you're planning.
I agree with you. I agree with you completely. But
a lot of fun.
But the main thing is stay busy.
Stay busy.
And don't give away too much money too soon. Guys, it's nice to be generous to your children or grandchildren. Let them kind of make their own way. Let them have a tough day or even a tough year. You're going to need your funds later on. You'll get an idea at a certain time in your life when you go, you know what, I have just about enough to coast through the rest of the next 20 years. But just don't give away too much too soon.
No,
right.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Those are words of extreme importance.
Thank you. A lot of fun, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
boy, the time flew, didn't it?
It does today.
Of course it does when you're having fun. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.